Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane has written to President Cyril Ramaphosa laying out her reasons why she should not be suspended as impeachment proceedings hang over her head. Mkhwebane has mounted a herculean effort to stay in her job, supported by her legal counsel Adv Dali Mpofu, who describes her as a lonely woman facing a conspiracy by the most powerful actors in society and must be afforded constitutional protection. As it stands, the Constitutional Court has given Parliament the green light to go ahead with the process. For legal analysis on these latest developments, I invite legal analyst Mpumelelo Zikalala to share his perspective. Good evening and welcome, Advocate Zikalala. This was just a process and a protest move on Advocate Mkhwebane's part, wasn't it? A response to her being informed that the National Assembly is ready to continue with its consideration of a motion for her removal.
I would say it was more of a compliance. She really had no choice. Her back was against the wall. In terms of the Constitution, the President does have the power to suspend her if there's a pending investigation or inquiry against her. What the President has done is to give effect to Section 33 of our Constitution, if I'm not mistaken, by saying, I want to take a decision which is reasonable and which is backed by plausible evidence. So provide reasons of why should I suspend you. If you provide plausible reasons, I'm not going to suspend you. If you fail to provide reasons, or if you fail to convince me that it's in the best interest of the office that you are kept in that particular office, then I'll have no choice to suspend you once you deal with your inquiry, and you can come back once everything has been sorted and done.
So let's move then to the reasons. Explain why she believes the President is conflicted and should be precluded from playing any role in her suspension with respect to the Bosasa CR17 court case. The Constitutional found Ramaphosa did not mislead Parliament in relation to a donation made to his 2017 presidential campaign.
Basically, she's saying you're subject of my investigation. So it's in your best interest that I should be removed if I'm removed. And it is going to have or may have a material impact on your matter. I do not believe so, though. The matter is already at court. All the affidavits have been deposed to. The only thing which is outstanding at this particular moment would be the various submissions that would be made at our courts. So there's really nothing else that can be provided. And even so, I don't think maybe the nature of the suspension could be such that you have nothing to do with all the matters which are taking place at the Public Protector. Since you are the litigant, since you are the department, you are in more or less bound by what you have written, and you must continue giving instructions to those who are representing you. So the mere fact that you are part of an investigation of some sort does not really mean that the President can't really deal with your matter or that you are untouchable. What she ought to have provided in those reasons was to say, look at the very important job of the Public Protector. It's an office which is protected by the Constitution. So if you hamper with it, it's not going to only prejudice me, but it's the millions of South Africans which are looking for my protection and my intervention, which are going to be hard done or prejudiced by your action. Also look at the way in which I've handled matters. I'm probably one of the least public protectors that have received a clean audit, meaning that I'm able to do this particular job effectively. So don't remove something which is working and which is working optimally. Let me deal with these particular matters which are not going to hamper me while I deal with that particular inquiry. And if it needs be, we can continue and maybe review this particular situation maybe 2 or 3 months down the line, depending on where we are with regards to the inquiry. But there's no need for you to suspend, because I'm not going to be hampered in any of my job, and it's not going to hamper any investigation or the parliamentary process.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, as you say, and it's interesting, who has to make this decision is somebody that she says is conflicted, and that's the President. Then there are 2 other individuals as well who she is uneasy around. We talk about this correlation between what she's done now and the twin application currently before the Western Cape High Court. She wants the President and the Speaker of the National Assembly, who is Nosiviwe Mapisa, as well as the Section 194 Committee Chair, Richard Janti, all interdicted from proceeding with the mooted suspension. For somebody from the outside who's looking at this and saying, maybe she has a point, how do you talk them away from that?
It's important to look at the rules in which we are dealing with, the procedure which is supposed to be followed. If you have a problem with any of the presiding officers in that particular committee, you're supposed to raise them while the process has started. So what she can't do is stop the process from going on, but what she can do is to the procedural compliance that must be there. She can be able to deal with the merits of the allegations that should be against her, and say to them, you must limit those allegations to me not having capacity, to be incompetent, or to have maybe conducted any actions of misconduct. Let's concede or maybe limit those to those three. Anything else can't be considered by you. And you must also remember that I'm going to be watching you with a hawk's eye in terms of how procedurally are you going to do this particular process? Are you going to give me enough time? Am I going to be able to defend myself? Am I going to be able to afford the legal representatives? Who's going to pay for that legal rep while we do this particular inquiry? Am I also going to be interdicted or stopped from providing certain evidence which may come to me? So, to me, stopping the process from starting is not going to help, which is what the Constitutional Court was saying earlier, saying that the procedures for you to be disciplined is there, and you can't wish it away. And the procedure which has been followed for now, we think that is the correct procedure to follow. If there are instances of non-compliance, you can always come to us for review, and you can always remove that particular decision.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how these interlocking scenarios play out. Thank you very much for your time and for your analysis, legal analyst Mpumelelo Zikalala.